A single mother attends a free concert. On her way home, she mysteriously disappears. Fortunately, the classic high heels she wore at the club leave a clue, helping police identify her later. Her sister, a doctor, leaves a phone message that becomes her last words before her fate turns uncertain. She chats while heading to the parking lot, unaware someone quietly follows her in the dark. It's the weekend, so even the parking lot security guard slacks off. This beautiful single mother vanishes amid the blaring music. The next morning, I find a clue right at my doorstep. In the mailbox, there's a security ad. As a police consultant, the threat from a previous case remains unresolved. But the assigned police guard notices nothing unusual. I immediately get a bad feeling.
Wrong address.
Someone deliberately wrote the wrong address, surely hiding a clue. It's a short distance, just the next street over from this house. But as I approach the door, I hear loud music. On closer inspection, the door stands strangely wide open. The messages on the toy box, aren't they meant to play a cat and mouse game with me? Postal service errors are extremely rare. The system uses optical recognition tech, barcodes and numbers, keeping errors to a minimum. So the sender of this letter is the criminal playing games with the police, David. But the only clue now is a rental contract tied to the case with the name Maya.
Maya Price is my sister.
Everyone realizes the single mother who vanished last night is Maya. This morning, her sister brought the kids home but found the door wide open, so she immediately reported it to the station. It matches my description perfectly. Her sister worked as an assistant for a music company, luckily getting free event tickets to a club and moonlighted at a supermarket to make ends meet. The person with her could be a colleague from either job. Her sister never drank and wouldn't stay overnight at a stranger's place. Her reputation was solid, though she faced a custody battle in court the following week. I try to see if she recognizes David, but the girl helplessly shakes her head. So, Karadek and I head to the club to investigate. The doorman says Maya left at 9:30 p.m., likely heading to the nearest parking lot, but her Honda isn't there. From the scattered items on the ground, it's clear this is a kidnapping scene. A broken streetlight makes the area dark, and there's a heel cap from a woman's high heel. Last night, the culprit deliberately knocked Maya out from behind, using her purse as a weapon to fight back. Her lip balm, candy, and other items scattered, and a perfume bottle broke. She screamed to escape, but the guard, distracted by a game, didn't hear. 2 black streaks on the ground are likely from her high heels, possibly from the culprit dragging her to a car. The car was parked here initially, and the culprit likely took both her and the vehicle. The 2 streaks suddenly become one, suggesting one shoe was lost during the drag. After searching, I quickly find the missing high heel. The culprit stuffed an unconscious Maya into the car trunk. The investigation must start with the missing car, and we quickly issue a media alert for her. I release David's photo simultaneously, linking it to this kidnapping. The suspect is likely David, the one playing games with the police. Lev discovers Maya got a gun permit months ago, perhaps to protect against her ex-husband. So everyone springs into action. They go to Maya's house first to search for clues. Though there was a sale transaction 2 weeks ago, they don't find the gun. I notice luxury items in her closet, but the bags are empty. Logically, Maya couldn't afford these, so who gave them to her? There's no sign of theft in the room, so where did these designer bags go? Seeing an electronic keyboard on the table, it clicks.
They were sold. Let's go.
Karadek leaves 2 assistants to keep searching for clues while he follows me to a nearby spot. The shop owner habitually labels items, but never fully removes the sticky residue from sold pawned goods. Karadek and I successfully buy a $1,000 designer bag. Unexpectedly, we get a new lead. The camera caught Maya arguing with a man. That man is none other than her ex-husband, fighting over custody. Though Maya didn't answer his calls, he reluctantly followed her to the shop. Despite his anger, knowing his ex-wife received expensive gifts from another man, he swears he'd never harm his kid's mother. Regarding her buying a gun, he insists it's impossible.
What?
Maya hates guns.
My gut tells me the ex-husband isn't the culprit, but Selena says we can't rule him out.
Maya is my whole world.
His feelings seem genuine, so who's the real kidnapper? At that moment, they find Maya's best friend who went to the concert with her last night. Due to the custody battle, Maya was weighed down by costly legal fees. Needing a night to unwind, her boss gave them 2 concert tickets. As for the designer bags, Maya denied they were gifts from her boss. But her friend insists the boss came back just to see Maya. Don't get it wrong, Maya's not casual about relationships.
You know, you kind of look like her.
The investigation shifts to the music company boss, but we learn he's been accused of workplace harassment 6 times. None of those lawsuits were resolved in court. Furious, I research online, print out all the dirt on this guy, and build a clue wall. Comparing the disappearance to David's methods, I quickly find a connection between cases. Though the culprit isn't confirmed, the boss is definitely involved. He has multiple aliases. He was a board member for a hospital research project, knowing exactly how long someone without insulin could survive. He's also an artist, his work matching the style of a gallery exhibit. His hobbies are flashy, he's a certified scuba diving instructor. If you add a beard to his face, he matches the suspect from earlier cases.
Jason and the game maker are one and the same.
No, it's a trap.
But everything we see is just a smokescreen David deliberately set up. Things aren't as simple as they seem. He intentionally dragged Maya's boss into this cat and mouse game. We can't miss this chance. We must investigate before the boss leaves. But at the company, we learned the event required everyone to wear masks. Except one person was exempt, obviously, the wealthy boss. We find out Maya worked for him over a year handling social and charity events. The concert tickets were just a small reward. The designer bags weren't gifts. He didn't know Maya used his credit card to buy them until another employee reported it. Yet she wasn't fired. The boss pitied her as a single mother. The money meant little to him. Then I noticed something. The samurai sword collection on his wall is unique, and he knows a lot about them.
Minamoto, Taira, Todo, Ashikaga, Oda, except one's missing. The Takeda, it's not there.
The boss has no response. When asked what he did last night, he has an alibi from his private chef. He also wants to find the missing Maya, but leaves to meet a client. I feel he's lying, but without a search warrant, we're stuck. While rummaging through his stuff, I'm shocked to find David staring back at me. I immediately chase after him. But the party is full of people in identical masks, so I can only search by instinct. Finally, I confront the game maker. Meanwhile, Karadek from the balcony spots Maya's bracelet by the pool. He picks it up and examines it closely. Right then, he hears me shout. Karadek rushes toward my voice but finds the unmasked person is suddenly Maya's boss. Are David and this man the same? The police quickly arrest him, but I still sense David hiding in the party. Unexpectedly, as we bring him to the station, Maya's ex-husband charges in. Meeting face to face, he can't hold back his rage. After a night of questioning, his lawyer blocks us from getting any info. Maybe he really doesn't know where Maya is. All the evidence points to this awful man. Yet, I can't figure out his motive and feel he's not the kidnapper. People start doubting I misjudged. But I still believe this is David's usual deception tactic. While everyone's confused, the police get a report. Maya's car is found. They rush to the scene and find a knife and a blood-stained jacket in the trunk. If we can get the boss's fingerprints on the knife, we might find the missing Maya. Blood doesn't mean a body. There's still hope Maya's alive. At that moment, Selena brings news about Morgan's ex-husband. They've unexpectedly found his address. If we drive now, we'll get there in a few hours. But I suddenly realize, how did Maya's ex know the boss was arrested? Someone at the party must have leaked the info. If the ex thinks the boss killed Maya, what drastic action might he take?
He must have wanted Derek to see Jason getting arrested.
David sent me that ad to draw my attention. His goal was to lead me to Maya's house. He's also the one who secretly used the credit card and gave Maya all those designer bags. Then he deliberately tipped off the boss. During the kidnapping, he took Maya's bracelet and tossed it into the party's pool. When leaving, he stole the wall knife and planted it in the car trunk. It's like he wanted to frame the boss, but really he's leading the police into a trap. Since all the bags are red, what's the common thread among the previous victims?
Where's Derek?
You think Derek is his next victim?
Not exactly.
Maya clearly had a gun permit, but no gun was found at her house. David wanted the police to pass this info to her ex, pushing him to seek revenge on the boss. After the police search, he snuck the gun into Maya's house.
Not if he got someone else to do it for him.
Clearly, the ex-husband, provoked by these clues, might do something stupid like murder. But unexpectedly, the ex, deceived, has already found the gun. This is a sophisticated plan to use someone else's hand to kill. He even quietly created a killer.
And we put the weapon right in his hand.
When Karadek reaches the scene, he finds the gun box empty. He's a step too late and only sees Derek speeding off in his car. Meanwhile, 2 police assistants arrive at a small hotel where my ex-husband, a black man, finally shows up.
Roman Sincera?
At the same time, an uninvited guest arrives at the police station.
Apparently you're looking for me.
Shockingly, this is the game maker, the suspect we've been desperately chasing, turning himself in. I arrive at the crime scene and immediately grasp the culprit's true intent. The countdown clock clearly implies that if I don't solve the case in 2 hours, the kidnapper will kill the hostage. He even deliberately left a video, hiding clues in the song lyrics to tip off the police. If I can't prove the missing woman is alive, I won't stop her ex-husband from mistakenly seeking revenge on the boss. Strangely, though the ammunition was fake, I noticed the packaging contained ammonium nitrate. This suggests a time bomb exists, just at an unknown location. I spot another overlooked detail. I try pulling the embroidered thread out bit by bit, and surprisingly, the brand label disappears with the stitching. Finally, the words "Hello Morgan" appear. As expected, It's the game maker taunting the police again. The most likely suspect is sitting smugly in the police station. The man at the station, Matthew, only has a record of cash-paid jobs for a year. His mother was once accused of theft, but passed away when he was young. Besides being an organ donor, there's no other information. But based on this alone, we can't link him to the prior kidnapping. He came to the station to ask why his face was on the news. My instincts are never wrong. Only an arrogant game maker would dare show up to face the challenge.
Wait here.
I love a snack. Cookie. Anything Pillsbury.
After Detective Karadek's interrogation, we get no useful information.
He asked specifically for Pillsbury, the Pillsbury variation.
I think of international chess, where some games are won by sacrificing pieces. Following this clue, the boss, Jason, is the wrongly accused piece.
It means we have to decline the temporary sacrifice. We've got to release Jason Howard.
But to prevent the ex-husband's revenge, the police can only assign 3 officers to guard him closely. With the game maker right in front of me, how do I prove my theories? Unexpectedly, Matthew is even bolder, agreeing to let the police search his house.
I've got nothing to hide.
I instantly realize Matthew must have left a puzzle to solve in his home. After a thorough check, we find no trace of explosives around the apartment. Now, the countdown clock shows only 1 hour left, but we only find evidence that Matthew was a hospital volunteer. I start looking around and am surprised to notice a book placed upside down above a photo. It's an autobiography about a Cold War figure, Stanislav Petrov, who falsely reported U.S. missiles nearly triggering nuclear war. Is this a distraction or a clue? Only when I rewatch the video of the missing woman do I understand the opponent's true intent. During the Vietnam War, captured U.S. soldiers sent messages by blinking.
It's Morse code.
It's Morse code.
Yeah, see, 2492. She's repeating 2492.
2492 Blue Jay Way.
I remember, isn't that the address of Jason's house? But we already searched Jason's place. Besides, how would an average person know Morse code? The culprit is definitely sending a message to the police. Either way, we should check Jason's house again. But as we step outside, we see Matthew with a smug look.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
Faced with such blatant taunting, I sense something's off. At Jason's house, it hits me. When the countdown clock hits 0, it's like triggering a timed bomb. Clearly, the game maker planted a bomb under a car. This renders the police protection useless, forcing Jason to rely on his private security team. As predicted, the missing woman's ex-husband is secretly tailing them. The situation is now extremely dicey. But while talking to my son, I come up with a plan. The only way to beat him is if I'm willing to lose.
I think the only way I can beat this guy is if I'm willing to lose.
I immediately knock on Matthew's door. He's been waiting for me. I bluntly say I don't like this cat and mouse game. Like childhood competitions, if no one yields, both lose, so I choose to back off. Since he knows my life inside out, killing me would be easy. But I don't want my kids to lose their mom, so conceding is the smartest choice.
Because you are smarter than me, so you win.
I just want the missing woman to live, so I'm quitting this pointless game. But he still doesn't admit to the kidnapping, only leaving a clue.
It's an old building. The elevator's been acting up. You should probably play it safe. Take the stairs.
I get it, and rush down the stairs to search. At that moment, I get a call from Karadek. He reports that Derek and Jason, the boss, are at a hotel, but I hear familiar singing, identical to the video of the missing woman. I follow the sound to a room, but the door is locked tight from the inside. Thanks to a neighbor's help, I call the manager to open the door immediately. At the same time, Karadek arrives at the hotel courtyard and sees Derek holding Jason at gunpoint while he's eating. During the standoff, a call comes through that the missing woman has been rescued.
Maya, I got her right here. I got her right here.
Derek, Maya is alive.
Maya has to recount old memories before Derek finally believes her. The wife he still loves is truly alive. Thus, by conceding defeat, I save 2 lives. But due to lack of evidence, the police still can't charge Matthew. The house used to hold her was always empty, and the missing woman didn't clearly see her kidnapper's face. I knew long ago the photo on the wall says it all. A monkey refuses to be caged, and so does the game maker, forever evading capture. Even with solid evidence, he'd take his own life. But the hospital report shows the missing woman had no injuries. This leaves one possibility. The blood left her body earlier. Isn't that incriminating evidence? I immediately devise a perfect plan to catch him. I knock on Matthew's door again. This time, I'm brimming with confidence, feeling that facing a worthy opponent is just like this. From his mother's theft accusation, I guess she was forced to take the fall.
I've never been in one of these rooms before.
I remember hearing about people who would confess to things they didn't do. I never understood why.
But now that I'm here, I get it.
It's concrete walls.
As a result, his mother died in prison. Matthew grew up in foster homes. The culprit had no intent to harm anyone, only to get my attention. He also posed as a cop to leak info, making Derek mistakenly seek revenge on Jason. The blood on the jacket and knife was something a hospital volunteer could easily obtain. Both the culprit and the missing woman share a connection. They donated blood at this hospital.
Maybe your mom wasn't a thief, but her son sure is.
It turns out there's solid evidence. Matthew stole the missing woman's donated blood. At this moment, the police are on their way to arrest him. I just arrived a bit early to see the face of the game's loser.
Well played.
Matthew finally admits everything but denies ever harming anyone. He hates the rich. They're the ones who always win the game.
We're just pawns to them, Morgan.
Back then, his mother was framed by the wealthy, made a scapegoat in an insurance scam. This is Matthew's revenge against the rich. And the police became accomplices in the wrongful conviction.
I believe you. I just don't care.
As I predicted, the game maker won't surrender. His mother died in prison, but Matthew won't. This cat and mouse game ends with me as the victor. How could I let such a strong opponent easily take their own life? The police are ready, and the criminal can only face justice. Thus, the game of taunting the police finally ends. But my missing husband, Roman, turns out to be an imposter named Arthur. After attending my son's event, I meet Arthur outside. He admits he met Roman just last week. The answer lies in this business card. But I believe Arthur must have something to deliver, as that backpack belongs to Roman. But Arthur is just an observer. Roman only wants to know that my daughter and I are doing well. After speaking, he quietly leaves.
Who is he? I don't know yet.
I just glance at the food on the table. That's all it takes to help the cops find the killer. Picture this: a regular person eating. If they accidentally knock over a drink, the liquid runs through the table, cracks onto the person sitting there. But at the scene, the drink is splashed all over the floor, which means nobody was in that chair when it spilled. The killer deliberately messed up the table, so the victim had no choice but to sit near the alley exit. The person who called it in is the waitress. She stepped away for just a minute, and the customer was gone. A little later, she hears a duck quacking from the narrow alley, goes to check, and finds the victim buried in trash. Even though paramedics got there fast and restarted his heart, he was without oxygen too long and ended up brain dead. He never wakes up. The rescue crew knows the victim well, Nathan. They've picked him up before for cuts and bruises. But who attacks a random diner with a plastic bag? After Nathan gets to the hospital, Karadek and I head straight to his place. While searching, we find stacks of sports betting stats. Karadek thinks he's some die-hard fan. I give a wry smile. Real fans plaster their walls with posters and memorabilia, not overdue credit card bills. Nathan isn't a fan. He's a gambler who only cares how much money the wins and losses bring in, and clearly he's been losing big. Those old injuries were probably courtesy of his bookies. Right after I say that, we hear someone picking the lock outside. The debt collector shows up. Karadek steps out.
We're nice people. You could have just knocked.
The guy bolts without a word. He runs like a squirrel, obviously used to being chased, so Karadek can't catch him right away. I don't just stand there. I circle around back and spot another shady guy downstairs, definitely the runner's partner.
Hey, cops!
And I block his escape route. So when the first guy finally gets there, all he smells is his buddy's exhaust. After we cuff him, Karadek searches him and finds a wallet plus a syringe. He's never heard of debt collectors carrying those. I get it instantly. The bookie isn't the killer. An air embolism from injecting air into a vein would have killed Nathan already. No need for a second attempt. Still, we have to dig deeper. Following the collector's tip, we hit an underground casino. Nathan's bookie acts like he's untouchable and doesn't even look at Karadek's badge. So I step in. I used to watch my dad, and I know these card shuffling machines. You load the deck, and it randomly shuffles.
Isn't that so random?
I don't say more. The bookie gets the message. He isn't scared of cops, but he's terrified of someone messing with his business. Now it's just the three of them left in the place. I don't waste time. Within minutes, I have what I need. Back at Nathan's apartment, I saw a string of numbers I thought was a phone number. Seeing the bookie makes me realize it's actually a social security number. Even though the purpose is different, the format is the same as an ID generated from birthplace and birth date.
You see, before the current and when the application came, the state where the app...
There's an annual Philadelphia event photo on the wall. The guy in the middle has to be the bookie. So Pennsylvania is the state. From the wrinkles on his face, I guess the birth year, and boom, that's the bookie's social security number. Question is, Why does Nathan have it?
But you hate talking to cops, so I'll answer this one for you.
Simple. Nathan couldn't pay his debts, so he changed his life insurance policy and made the bookie the beneficiary. If Nathan dies, the bookie cashes in big. After hearing me rattle all that off, the bookie can't take it anymore and says the insurance change was Nathan's idea. He wants to know why too. That makes the old beneficiary a suspect now. Years ago, Nathan's gambling drove his wife and kid away. Only when his daughter grew up did he regret it and want to make amends. That night at the restaurant, he was supposed to meet his daughter to hand over the new insurance papers. Jessica looks stunned. She had no clue, didn't even know she was the beneficiary. She did go to a restaurant that night, but never saw her dad. Karadec realizes they went to 2 different places. Someone deliberately tricked Nathan into going to the wrong address. Checking transactions, I see Nathan bought several bags of dog food recently. But there's no pet at his place. He must have sent it away. Jessica says her dad told her he was going on a long trip and would disappear for a while. Everything points to Nathan planning to end it all so he wouldn't drag his daughter down.
So somebody decides to kill the guy right when he's about to kill himself. But why?
The next day, Karadec and I go to the hospital. Nathan had signed up to donate his organs. Even at his worst, he wasn't all bad. When we get there, I notice something off about Jessica.
Did your dad know you were pregnant?
How did you know?
Oh, well, the smells in here are driving you nuts. I see that saltine peeking out of your purse, and you've got ginger tea. Been there a few times.
At their last meeting, Jessica had told her dad the good news. Nathan was thrilled about becoming a grandpa. He even got a full checkup, including an echocardiogram. I catch one tiny detail, rush back to the station, and grab Nathan's phone from Daphne. The alarm tone is the exact duck quack the waitress heard. The killer set that alarm after the attack, long enough after to guarantee brain death, soon enough to keep the organs viable.
I think Nathan Gould was killed for his heart.
Karadec and Selena track down the paramedics. They say that restaurant is super close to their station. They got there in 5 minutes. The killer knew exactly how long someone can suffocate and still have a recoverable heart and lungs for transplant. While chatting, one paramedic complains that lately their cheap asthma meds keep getting stolen from the rig, hopes the cops will look into it. At that point, everything clicks. Nathan was going to end it all and donate his heart. But once he learned his daughter was pregnant, he changed his mind. Someone needed that heart bad enough to act. We head back to the hospital to ask whose name was next for Nathan's heart. The doctor hides behind privacy rules, refuses to say anything, and demands a warrant, obviously stalling. Jessica already agreed to pull the plug. The heart surgery is scheduled for tomorrow morning. Whoever's getting the heart clearly has major pull and is pressuring the hospital. But in Los Angeles, that could be half the town. I'm racking my brain when my daughter Eva suddenly spots something. In a red carpet photo posted by producer Wood, the dress on the starlet behind him is messed up. Last year, that same actress fought with her stylist over that exact ugly dress, yet Wood just reposted the old picture days ago. Eva and I check the actress's own page. All recent photos are old ones too. This producer is obviously hiding his health issues. Police roll up to Wood's house fast. Just like I thought, he urgently needs a new heart. When confronted, Wood acts like he doesn't care. Whether he pressured the hospital or not, it doesn't matter now. Utah has a better heart waiting. No evidence here. Call my lawyer. Karadec starts to argue, but I get a call and yell over to him, Nathan's heart got stolen during transport. A heart only lasts 6 hours outside the body. 2 hours already gone. Time's ticking, so we drag the doctor in charge to the station. After some convincing, she cracks. I didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice. If we didn't find Mr. Wood a heart, he would have cut off millions in funding. That's money we use to save countless lives.
Breaking the law is still breaking the law. Selena just needs the name of the original intended recipient. Turns out Nathan had signed a directed donation to one specific person. When Wood leaned on the hospital to find him a match, they overrode Nathan's wishes. Because they did something shady, the doctor later wiped every record of that patient from the system. No records, so we have to filter the entire transplant waiting list manually. That doesn't stop me. The heart only lasts 6 hours, so anyone too far away is out. Then blood type mismatches, body size mismatches, down to 6 people. Karadec starts dialing, but I stop him.
I know where to find the killer.
Remember? The paramedics said their asthma meds kept getting stolen, and heart failure often comes with asthma. The thief has to be paramedic Christopher. The patient on that wiped file is his mom. Her ex-husband's last name is Bishop, same as Christopher. No way that's a coincidence. Through all the emergency calls, Christopher got to know Nathan, learned he was planning to end it, and convinced him to get his heart checked and direct donate it to his mom. Then Nathan changed his mind, and his mom lost her shot. With crushing medical bills, Christopher started stealing meds to keep her going. Finally, he impersonated Nathan's daughter, changed the meeting location, and took Nathan out. The fire station is right next door. He had plenty of time to do it and get back on shift. Karadek calls for backup to grab Christopher outside the hospital. That call means his mom goes back on the regular waiting list, and her son goes to jail. For her now, the heart doesn't even matter anymore. I choke up watching mother and son say goodbye. Case closed. Nathan's heart ends up saving a 7-year-old girl. Maybe that's his way of making things right. I just glance at the bloodstained dress and crack a 20-year-old cold case. This dress isn't shiny like satin, but it's glossier than plain cotton. It's Tencel fabric. Tencel didn't hit the market until 1985, so the crime happened sometime between then and now. The tag code leads us to a manufacturer that went bust in 2015, knocking 10 more years off the window. In 1998, the FTC made care label symbols mandatory. No QR codes or inventory numbers means this dress was made between 1,998 and 2,000. Victim is female, so the old database spits out one unsolved case. Greta Street John, 25, black, a rising singer. Last seen New Year's Eve 2000 at the Black Jewel Club. Found dead in the alley, multiple wounds, no cameras, no witnesses. Because she was black, the cops back then barely cared. Some reports are basically missing. I noticed the tattoo on the victim's wrist. That might be the key. This old case only resurfaces because of a call we got this morning. Raina says she just witnessed a shooting, and the shooter spotted her. Karadek and I rush over, but when we get there, Raina swears she never called. Karadek thinks someone threatened her, but her phone shows no 911 call at all. He figures it's a prank. I'm looking at her kitchen. Walls covered in scorch marks, cheap pots. Clearly, fires happen here all the time. Before I can say anything, Raina loses it and kicks us out. I think it's weird, but Karadek tells me not to overthink it. A few hours later, Raina turns up dead at home. No gunshot wounds. Looks like she fell down the stairs, so the first call is accident. I say, no way. She was murdered. A normal person falling instinctively grabs the railing, but Raina's rings have 0 scratches, and there's a dirty handprint on her back shaped exactly like a palm. I'm positive. Raina saw a murder and got silenced. Oz digs up that the next-door neighbor just threw a wild party, so a gunshot wouldn't even stand out. The neighbor claims he barely knew Raina. That's when I spot a guy on a bike circling the block. Classic sign, he's waiting for a drop. The neighbor instantly panics and warns us not to throw around accusations without proof. I just smile and point out the unicorn sticker on his mailbox, local signal that the dealer's open for business. But with cops here, the customers can only ride around and wait. More importantly, the second I said the word drop, his eyes flicked to the drawer across the room. Sure enough, we've got probable cause. Cops figure a shot went off at the party. Raina saw it, so the neighbor killed her to keep her quiet. The guy insists he's just a pharmacist selling cheap meds to poor folks, and Raina was one of his customers. No reason to hurt her. Then Karadek finds the timeline. The second Raina made that first 911 call, this neighbor showed up at her door with meds. He's definitely our guy. To get more evidence, we go back to Raina's house and check the basement. Because of his habit, the neighbor's fingerprints glow even without a black light. On a shelf is an old flip phone with no SIM. Since 1996, even phones without a SIM can still dial 911. If the neighbor's telling the truth, why did he show up exactly then? Pure coincidence. One blood-stained dress gives us the real answer. Raina had Alzheimer's. The most recent memory that surfaced for her was 20 years old. The burn marks on the walls and pot bottoms, she kept forgetting to turn off the stove. Money was tight, so she bought cheap meds from the neighbor. She even kept spare pots in case she burned another one. She went to the basement for something and found the dress. Suddenly the memory flooded back. Alzheimer's scrambles past and present, so to her it felt like it just happened. Once we ID the exact old case, we split up to investigate. Raina's call log shows 3 missed calls from someone named Lucy. Karadek and I go talk to her. Daphne and Oz head to the old owner of the Black Jewel Club. Both Raina and Greta sang for him back then. Lucy is a journalist writing a piece about forgotten singers from that era. Compared to Raina, Greta was on another level. The old club owner plays us the change in Greta's voice. We're blown away. Word is that change came after she fell for some guy. Mac used to manage Raina, but when he heard Greta, he dropped Raina cold and took Greta on. He treated them like pawns. Later, Mac even bought the Black Jewel Club. Both the club owner and Lucy have solid alibis. Owner was bowling with buddies. Lucy was at the observatory taking photos with clear timestamps. That leaves only Mac. Records show right after Greta died, Raina moved into her current house, owned by Mac. Looks like hush money for seeing Greta get killed. But once Raina's Alzheimer's started kicking in and Mac realized she might spill everything anytime, he decided to shut her up for good. Security footage shows them arguing outside the club a few days ago. Karadek and I hit Black Jewel, but without a warrant, we can only question him on site. Mac acts like he had nothing to do with either singer's death. The house? He says he just traded music royalties for it. Then, I spot the tattoo on Mac's wrist and instantly know what he really was to Greta. One is the compass that guides, the other is the North Star that stays steady. Pretty romantic, huh? He doesn't deny it, so I keep pushing. I break down Greta's old wounds. They weren't from a beating, they were hives from an allergic reaction. New Year's Eve, right before she died, her skin was fine. Then the confetti cannons went off, and every spot it touched broke out in welts. Compare that to the autopsy photos. She was killed inside the club just hours after midnight. Max stays cool, says even if she was killed inside and dumped in the alley, he didn't own the place yet, so how is it his problem? Karadek says next time he'll come back with a warrant. There are tons of old photos of Raina and Greta performing. After studying every one, Selena and I both spot the big detail. Greta was pregnant, no postpartum. Karadek doesn't have kids yet, so it's understandable he missed it. Pregnancy and birth change a woman's body. If you don't recover, right, you can have lasting issues. Greta wore a wrist brace for mom's carpal tunnel, switched from heels to flats so she could hold the baby safely. Even changed her hairstyle to hide postpartum hair loss. Classic signs of 3 months after giving birth. Once the baby came, Greta changed, she had someone to protect, and you can hear the new strength and hope in her singing. She knew Mac was dangerous, so she hid the child. That decision got her killed. The photos also show Mac's hand bandaged right after New Year's. Looking at the neck wounds on Greta again, I figure after the first shot, Mac worried she wasn't dead, so he fired again. The gun jammed on the third shot and blew up in his hand. Shrapnel hit Greta and left those extra marks. Raina saw the whole thing and got Greta's blood on her dress. For years, she stayed quiet because of money and threats. But hiding that dress in the basement shows she always hoped one day she'd be brave enough to talk. With all this, Karadek finally gets the arrest warrant. Mac feels the heat, bolts, and grabs a dancer as a hostage. He keeps yelling that he's the kid's father. Why can't he see his own child? They fought that night, he lost control, and it just happened. Karadek doesn't know what to say. Mac's getting more worked up. The hostage's life is on the line, so Karadek has to take the shot. The case looks closed. Mac killed both women. Then we find new evidence in his car. Prison visitor passes and dead bugs on the dash prove when Raina died, Mac was hours away behind bars. So someone else killed Raina. I switch gears. This is revenge. Greta's kid, now grown, would have motive. Problem is, Greta never filed any custody or birth records. We have zero paper trail on the child. But I never let the team down.
We finally know who killed her.
That's great.
It's you.
Lucy's alibi photo is wrong. That observatory has a cool sundial sculpture. Timestamp on the photo says Monday noon, but the shadow says 3 p.m. last December. Lucy denies it, but we've got more. The stain on Raina's clothes is silver nitrate, stuff old school photographers get on their hands when developing film. Lucy still had traces on her skin when she pushed Raina down the stairs. Lucy said she saw Raina as a second mom. There's only one reason you kill your second mom. She lied to you about your real mom. Plus, Lucy knew details about Mac threatening Greta's family, details only family would know. She can't talk her way out. Lucy confesses everything. She says she just snapped in the moment.
Lucy, we got justice for your mom. And now we have to do the same thing for Raina. You're under arrest for the murder of Raina Vieira.
Case closed. But the team is facing big changes. Selena lost the election for sheriff. I'm about to get a new boss who won't put up with my rule bending anymore. Things are about to get a lot tougher for all of us. A can of protein powder is usually worth just a few bucks. But if it's made in the USA, its price shoots up to hundreds of dollars. A journalist wants to expose this shady industry. But just days later, someone finds her body at the bottom of a lake. After the initial investigation, police notice the victim doesn't match the car owner's photo. They suspect the other person is a car thief. But I shake my head. The victim just got Botox, microdermabrasion, thread lifts, cheek fillers, eyelash extensions, and a new hairstyle. Her body is a bit swollen from being in the water, but she's definitely the car owner. Someone went to great lengths to change their appearance. It's either to look better or to hide from someone. But here's the weird part. Tori has a gunshot wound, yet no blood is found, just a lot of red paint. I open the car's glove compartment and find a waterlogged handgun. This suggests everything happened so fast that Tori couldn't react. Whoever she was hiding from, it seems they found her. Using the name Tori, Daphne quickly uncovers that she was a journalist. Back in college, Tori wrote for the school paper about a cheating scandal, landing several classmates in jail. But she faced retaliation and had to drop out early. After entering the workforce, Tori didn't give up her dream. She joins a magazine called Takedown, which digs into hidden crimes. This job is somewhat dangerous, so for every investigation, her editor requires Tori to send a photo. The painted nails in the photo suggest it was taken a few days ago, but there's no building in the image to confirm the location. Police can't pinpoint where Tori was at the time. I smirk. Who says you can't locate someone without a landmark? Behind Tori is a tamarisk tree, a plant born from fire. It usually lies dormant in the soil and only wakes up after a blaze. I check recent records and find only one fire in this mountain area. At the mountain's peak is a mansion with a no entry sign at the gate. It already gives off a suspicious vibe.
Well, why would I? Any bozo can buy a sign, tack it to a fence.
Karadek says this isn't by the book, but he can't convince me otherwise. Surprisingly, the mansion is full of people, mostly young folks.
This is a content house.
It's a popular trend where creators rent a house together, share filming resources, and collaborate to post on social media. Tori's cosmetic procedures were likely to blend in better here. But what made her risk her life to investigate? While we talk, some of the young people approach. Karadek shows his badge and Tori's photo. Their faces immediately turn uneasy. They obviously know Tori, but didn't know she was dead. For months, they thought she was just a new creator, unaware of her journalist background. While Karadek questions them, I start observing the house as usual. These creators seemed stressed lately. The house is filled with reviews and ranking charts. A video of jumping into the pool out there looks like a 30-second clip, but it took 30 hours to prepare, from buying materials to filming. These young people seem independent, but are actually tools for someone's profit. Maybe Tori wanted to expose this industry, which led to her death. When I share my findings with Karadek, the creators hesitate, then confess they killed Tori.
One of you shot Tori.
She was shot?
How do you think you killed her?
Like that.
Oh, no. Karadek!
You might want to get back.
Turns out, it was a special liquid called Demon toothpaste. That day, to make their content more exciting, they stuffed it into Tori's car. They planned to film a video and post it online, but it went wrong. After realizing they caused trouble, they called their manager. He said Tori was fine and just drove off to clean up. Karadek shakes his head. With an impact that big, Tori must have passed out and couldn't drive. Seeing the group hasn't grasped the severity, I explain the science. Demon toothpaste is essentially hydrogen peroxide. When a catalyst is added, it breaks down fast, creating a huge foam of oxygen gas for a dramatic visual effect. Plus, hydrogen peroxide reacts with blood, explaining why no blood was found in Tori's car. This cruel prank was suggested by a girl in the group because Tori stole something from her, a can of unreleased protein powder.
I was supposed to do an exclusive promo for them. I'm the only content creator in the country to get L3 before the launch. It was going to bring a ton of traffic to my channel, but Tori stole the powder before I could film it.
Since arriving at the mansion, Tori's account hasn't been doing well. The girl thought Tori was jealous and stole the protein powder. But still, Tori's cause of death was a gunshot, not a concussion. The manager must have lied to cover up Tori's murder. As Karadek and I prepare to leave, we hear a car engine. It's the manager, Phineas. But when he sees Karadek's badge, he floors it and speeds off like a scared mouse. Karadek wants to chase him, but quickly realizes it's futile.
Did you just try and chase after a sports car?
It was an instinct.
Your instinct was that you could catch up to a twin-turbo V8?
Morgan.
This might be the best day of my life.
Luckily, the police don't mess around. Within hours, they nab Phineas and bring him to the station. Oz digs into Phineas's background. No job, no rich parents, yet he drives a luxury car and stays in 5-star hotels. That money likely comes from the creators in the mansion. Karadek learns that to join Phineas's content house, you pay a $50,000 monthly membership fee. Plus, they use a bottom elimination system. Pay more to rank higher. Phineas likely discovered Tori's journalist identity and killed her to keep his operation secret. When Phineas refuses to confess, I step in. I tell Karadec to remove Phineas's watch. The titanium strap shows oxidation from contact with hydrogen peroxide, proving Phineas handled Tori's body. Caught red-handed, Phineas admits he dumped Tori's body in the lake, but insists he didn't kill her or know she was a journalist. The creators were too noisy, drawing complaints from neighbors. Another murder would get them evicted by the landlord. Phineas claims he can prove he didn't kill Tori. He was paying to boost Tori's account to trending status during the murder. It's how he helps members climb ranks. If he killed her, he wouldn't bother. To prove his innocence, he hands over Tori's purse, which contains the protein powder the girl mentioned. The ingredients listed are normal, as advertised, with no additives. But the brand's representative is interesting. The cheating scandal Tori exposed in college involved a guy named Bobby, their old enemy. Bobby went to jail for years because of it, but also leaked Tori's personal info, leading to her being harassed by classmates. So, when Tori found Bobby's product might be fake, she jumped at the chance to expose him. But when police confront Bobby, he acts innocent. He admits using products from China, but they're high value and technically imported, with no quality issues. He welcomes any inspection. His supervisor, though, seems nervous and says police can't enter without a warrant. Bobby ignores him and eagerly shows Karadec his warehouse. He admits to his past feud with Tori, but says he's reformed since prison and fears no investigation. Seeing his confidence, I don't hold back.
Morgan.
Karadec, he's an open book.
Phone movement data shows Bobby shuttles between the factory and gym daily, leaving no time for murder. But can a bad guy really change in prison? Karadec doesn't buy it. He finds Bobby joined a mutual support group with members who have criminal records. Karadec and Oz visit the group's chairman, who says Bobby was vengeful toward Tori right after prison, but gradually let go of his grudge with the group's help. Bobby's current dream is to change the world with protein powder. The chairman doesn't get how, but he believes Bobby would be ruthless if anyone blocked that dream. Karadec and Oz exchange looks. Tori's plan to expose the protein powder scam clearly threatened Bobby's dream. They rush back to Bobby's factory, but when they burst into his office, they find him not breathing. It looks like he took his own life. Police search the warehouse and find it's a front for distributing protein powder, but actually deals in illegal substances. Bobby likely thought he couldn't hide it anymore. If caught, he couldn't explain himself to clients or suppliers. Oz finds the gun that killed Tori in Bobby's office. The case seems closed, but I suddenly shout. I smell beef and barley soup on Bobby's body. Karadec looks confused. What does that prove? I point to Bobby's collar. If he wanted to die, why use beef soup to swallow poison? I check the trash and drain, finding leftover carrots and half a pill. So, either Bobby poisoned himself while washing dishes, or someone set him up as a scapegoat.
Yes, I think whoever killed Bobby also killed Tori and masterminded the whole thing.
Then who's the brain?
Hours later, police at another factory stop a truck and arrest the support group's chairman. At first, they thought the real killer was Bobby's company supervisor, but he was just a puppet. Bobby genuinely didn't know his factory was moving illegal substances. He just wanted to change the world with protein powder. When the supervisor learned of Bobby's death, he broke down and revealed the true orchestrator. Tori only wanted to investigate the protein powder, but if her story broke, the hidden illegal substances would be useless. To fix this, the chairman took matters into his own hands. Since Tori was caught in that cruel prank, he easily killed her. When he realized police were closing in on the warehouse, he poisoned Bobby to frame him.
I want a lawyer.
Oh, I bet you do. Maybe more than one. Go deep on that bench.
The case is truly over. Tori's unfinished story is picked up by another journalist. The magazine will publish a memorial issue to highlight her contributions. The world needs unsung heroes like Tori. I just glance at the powder scattered on the floor and solve the mystery of the haunted house. Turns out it's not regular powder. It's coarse salt used to keep evil spirits away. Back in ancient times, people preserved bodies with salt, so folks figured it could also cleanse bad energy and chase off ghosts. This homeowner was clearly super superstitious. Salt alone wasn't enough for him, so he added 5 different gemstones to build a full-on protection circle. Yet no matter how many tricks he tried, the guy still got scared to death. Yesterday was Halloween. A bunch of kids dressed as Avengers showed up planning the old trick-or-treat prank. Someone beat them to it. They saw a figure draped in a white sheet, looking like a classic ghost, doing something over the homeowner, Danny. Karadec doesn't buy real ghosts. He thinks it's just an accident. We find sedatives and nitroglycerin in the house, proof the victim had chronic insomnia and a heart condition. Probably had a sudden heart attack, crawled for his keys, bumped into furniture, and that was it. I shake my head. The way the body fell shows he wasn't crawling toward his meds. He was reaching for the black stone bracelet on the couch, So maybe the kids were right. Something white and ghostly showed up. Danny panicked, tried to grab his protection charm, and forgot he had a bad heart. Daphne digs into the previous owners, a golden couple from last century. The wife caught the husband cheating and took her own life in the bedroom. A few months later, also on Halloween, the husband fell from the balcony and broke his neck. Cops called it an accident, but rumors spread that the wife's ghost pushed him. Ever since, people claim to hear a woman crying in that house. But that's just gossip. We solve cases with facts and science, not ghost stories. Right after Daphne finishes, we get a call from the station. The kids who reported it drew a composite sketch of the ghost that killed Danny. It looks exactly like the wife from the old wedding photo. The coroner confirms Danny died of a heart attack. Whether it was natural or induced, we still have to figure out. I checked the salt on the floor and the lemon balm on the shelf. Danny was definitely into the supernatural, but if he really believed in ghosts and had a heart condition, why stay in a haunted house on purpose? There's a business card on the table, Calliope. That's probably where we'll find answers. We follow the address and walk into Calliope's place. She immediately offers us homemade lemon balm essential oil, says it calms the spirit. I recognize that smell. There was a lemon balm plant at Danny's house. While Karadec chats her up, I start looking around. Calliope gets defensive fast, says she doesn't like people snooping. About Danny being dead, yep, he was her client. He was terrified of ghosts, but his wife loved the house, so he hired Calliope to set up cleansing rituals and protection grids. Her fees aren't cheap, $5,000 every visit. Danny trusted her completely. They talked on the phone every morning to check if anything weird happened overnight. Whether Karadec believes it or not, Calliope insists the house has strange energy, especially the basement, where a woman's crying comes from. She thinks it's the old actress's restless spirit and that a few rituals would clear it out for good. She sounds so sure of herself I can't stay quiet anymore. The second I walked in, I noticed the green candle on the table, probably bergamot peel and myrrh powder. In her words, it's a charm for wealth and luck. Problem is, that kind of spell only works during the waxing moon, and today we're in the waning phase.
Calling me a fraud?
I am.
Karadec jumps in. Maybe Danny realized she was scamming him and wanted his money back, so she dressed up as a ghost and scared him into a heart attack. Calliope just laughs and shakes her head. If she killed her clients, how would she stay in business? If Karadec doesn't believe in ghosts, go figure out where the crying is really coming from and stop wasting her time. Her kicking us out actually makes Karadec think she's got a point. Even if the magic is fake, she had no reason to kill her cash cow. Plus, she just handed us a lead, the basement. Maybe there really is something creepy down there. Karadec, total skeptic, marches straight down to the basement alone. I keep poking around the house looking for anything we missed. After a minute, I hear weird footsteps overhead. Real ghost? I calm down fast. Kids sometimes use the air vents like a giant tin can phone. Same thing here. Someone's using the vents to fake paranormal activity. Meanwhile, Karadec spots a white figure sneaking behind him, trying to scare him off. He doesn't even flinch, just walks right up to it.
LAPD, put your hands where I can see them.
You got another runner.
Before I can react, someone crashes right into me. Guess the ghost didn't expect to meet someone who isn't scared of sheets.
Come on, let's go to the station. You can tell me more about how you weren't doing anything. Easy, easy.
Turns out the girl is a straight-A tech school student. We find a pile of electronic gear in the house, all her ghost-making props. The captain barely threatens her, and she spills everything. Danny was divorcing his wife and fighting over the house. The wife hired the girl to turn the place into a haunted nightmare so Danny would give it up. She had no idea he had a bad heart. That night, she went overboard, lay on top of him pretending to possess him, actually trying CPR when he collapsed. Too late to save him. To check her story, Karadec and I head to the airport. Danny's wife just flew in from London. His daughter is there too. She's not the wife's biological kid, so there's zero love lost between them. They're screaming at each other over who gets the house. When we ask questions, the wife flat out says she has no reason to kill him. She wanted the house bad, but it's already in the daughter's name. If Danny died, the stepmom gets nothing, not even a closet. That's why she tried the ghost plan, to make him hand it over willingly. If she got the house, she'd walk away from everything else. Then she pulls out an old love letter Danny wrote years ago. They used to be the perfect couple, but love didn't beat time. Looking at the handwriting on the letter, something clicks. I saw Danny's work planner. His handwriting was a total mess, nothing like the neat letter. Right before he died, Danny was already showing signs of muscle weakness. Maybe he wasn't scared to death. Maybe he was poisoned. The coroner retests the blood and finds massive amounts of potassium chloride, The killer was clever. They knew potassium levels skyrocket naturally after death from decomposition, perfect cover for injected potassium chloride to fake a heart attack. A regular examiner would have called it natural. Good thing I'm picky and asked for an independent talk screen. Whoever did this knew about Danny's heart condition and swapped his sleeping pills for potassium chloride. They also knew the house was haunted, so if Danny died, everyone would blame the fake ghost. At this point, the daughter looks suspicious. She's a doctor, easy access to potassium chloride. Kara, Deck, and Oz hit Danny's office to ask coworkers who else knew the house was supposedly haunted. Turns out, Danny told literally everyone he was terrified of ghosts. While digging through Danny's divorce files, I stumble on something weird. Old blueprints versus new ones show the house lost 300 square feet, but the floor plan looks unchanged. There's definitely a hidden room somewhere. Under my direction, the whole team lines up outside every window. Selena's about to lose it. If I don't explain, she'll chew me out for wasting manpower. I tell her an old story about a castle with a secret room bricked up long ago. The new owner was so curious she had maids tie red scarves to every window. The one window with no scarf, that was the hidden room. We do the same. The unmarked window is the one we want. Up in the attic, I find the mechanism on a shelf and open the secret door.
Why only make the one fix?
It's the old actress's dressing room, packed with her clothes and jewelry. After she took her own life, the guilty husband sealed the room forever. Danny must have found it while investigating the hauntings. Whatever's in here made him refuse to leave, even with ghosts. I open the vanity drawer, and there it is, a diamond necklace. Gold might be worth more now, but this thing has 312 carats of diamonds, and it was the love token of a legendary screen couple. Current value? $20 million. Danny was a divorce lawyer. He knew if that necklace surfaced, he'd have to split it with his wife. Ghost or no ghost, he was staying until the divorce was final. The killer definitely knew about the necklace and decided to murder him for it. But their perfect plan got wrecked by a bunch of kids on Halloween. Cops showed up way too fast. The killer never got a chance to grab the diamonds. Everyone's talking it through, and my brain's running full speed.
I don't think Danny was sleeping very well.
I just wanted the house. The energy in this place is very off.
You're trying to make sure you're taken care of.
You know who did it, don't you?
Yeah,
So?
so let's give them their window.
That afternoon, the police hold a press conference. They announce Danny's wife is the killer. The news hits TV. Calliope and Danny's daughter both see it. To fully cleanse the house, Calliope says one final ritual is needed. The daughter doesn't suspect a thing and even pays her a fat fee. Calliope walks into the house grinning. She's been plotting for that necklace the whole time. Danny trusted her completely, so the second he found it, he called her to check if it had any bad spirits attached. Calliope's greedy. $20 million meant she'd never have to fake another ghost again. Too bad it's a police trap. The moment I saw the necklace, I knew it had been polished recently, not sealed away for decades. More importantly, it still smelled faintly of lemon balm oil. Danny only cared about money. He wouldn't bother cleaning old jewelry. The only explanation, he was scared of curses, so he asked Calliope to cleanse it. Calliope swapped his sleeping pills for potassium chloride. They talked every morning, so the day he didn't pick up, she knew the heart attack hit. Because of the divorce secrecy, Danny never told anyone else about the necklace. That gave her time to sneak in and grab it. But those trick-or-treat kids ruined everything. Cops locked the house down before she could get inside. With the real killer arrested, the case is closed. Except I noticed the wooden raven that used to sit on the clock is gone. Ghosts believe in them and they're real, don't believe and they're not. Maybe the actress's spirit was quietly watching this whole case after all. In the dead of night, a thief breaks into the museum. Security spots him almost instantly, yet somehow the priceless painting still vanishes. It's Rembrandt's 1,645 Young Woman at a Window, on loan from the Fosters, who paid over $20 million for it at auction. I just glance at the traces the thief left and spot the red flag right away. Most art thieves go for the single most valuable piece in the room. This guy cuts through a window, rappels down, ignores paintings worth even more, and only takes the Rembrandt. I'm 100% sure whoever did this didn't do it for money. This is personal. Reese, the top recovery expert for stolen art, gets sent by the insurance company to help. I say the theft wasn't about cash. With all his experience, Reese swears it absolutely was. Want to bet against me? Game on. Like always, Karadec asks questions while I study the scene. The Fosters give us nothing useful except a notebook tracing the entire history of the painting. Besides the fascinating life of the girl in the portrait, the painting itself has had a wild ride. Sold by Rembrandt in 1645, bounced from country to country, owner to owner. 1,932. A Polish businessman owns it. Then the Fosters snag it for a fortune at auction. Scene forensics show the thief used a thermite reaction to melt the glass. 2 years ago, another museum lost a painting the exact same way. We pull 19 similar heists worldwide. Masterpieces priced 10 to 30 million. Aluminum oxide residue left behind every time. People call this ghost Jean-Baptiste, after the first painting he stole in France 12 years ago. Only solid lead. 5 years ago, a guard shot him in the left shoulder. Daphne finds a court file. A guy named Ari once sued the legal owners of the painting. He lives in our jurisdiction. Ari's grandmother tells us her own father bought the painting back in 1932. I've read the provenance. I know exactly who she is. When the Nazis rolled in, they took everything. That painting lived with her family for generations, so she's obsessed with getting it back. She's been hunting for a young woman at a window ever since, until it showed up at auction for 20 million they could never afford. She had to watch strangers buy her family's heart. Ari turns out to be a competitive gymnast. Karadek immediately asks for his alibi. I also remember seeing Ari's name on the museum guest list a few days ago. Ari says he was home last night, only visited the museum to take photos for his grandma. Back at the station, Karadek grills museum staff. One guard saw Ari standing in front of the Rembrandt for a long time. Motive means weak alibi. Karadek puts Ari at the top of the suspect list. I fight him tooth and nail. They're the victims here. If we recover the painting, it should go back to Ari's grandmother, not the Fosters. I catch Reese taking a mysterious phone call and slipping outside. I chase him down. He doesn't even try to hide it. Some guy just called, says he knows where the painting is and wants to meet. Reese planned to go alone, didn't want to spook the seller. I think for 2 seconds and decide I'm going with him. We wait at the rendezvous. Nobody shows. Reese suggests we check the museum's glass skylight. It's sealed, but that's never stopped me. I realize the skylight is one-way glass. The thief played a crazy gamble. He couldn't see if anyone was below him. Right then, the museum director hands Reese a package, a Polaroid of the painting, ransom demand, and drop coordinates. My little freelance adventure gets me chewed out by the captain. I apologize over and over. He shuts me down every time. 2 hours until the drop. He benches me from the case completely. I'm furious, grab Reese, who's also benched now, and storm off. Karadek and Sheriff Nick are waiting at the meetup spot. Not far away, some dude is stealing a car. Sheriff Nick doesn't want to blow their cover, so he tells Karadek to sit tight and ignore the thief. Karadek still can't just sit there and do nothing. Turns out, the petty thief is packing heat. When things get tense, Sheriff Nick jumps out of the car too. While the two sides are in a standoff, another car suddenly peels out. Nick doesn't think twice. He hops back in and takes off after it. Karadek has to borrow somebody else's ride real quick. Nick floors it and rams the back of the fleeing car. After a few seconds of spinning, the car straightens out and keeps going like nothing happened. Karadek finally catches up to them. But this guy is slick. He slams on the brakes out of nowhere, then throws it in reverse right at him. Karadek and Nick barely react in time. In the end, both cars get stuck, and they can only watch the bad guy disappear. While the cops are hitting a dead end on the stolen painting case, yeah, sorry, I'm over here sipping wine and trash-talking Sheriff Nick with Fizz. We go from shot talk to personal stuff, and pretty soon we're talking about getting extra friendly. Just when things are heating up, the last bit of common sense I have left kicks in and shuts it down. I start thinking back over all the clues we have and everything Fizz just said. A cold chill runs through me when I realize the guy who's been all sweet and cuddly with me is the exact creep we've been hunting this whole time.